course. Let's find Sakamoto. Yep. We need low romance and high corruption. That is your recipe. And as soon as I can press the skip button. Let me press the button. Still in Kyoto for Sakamoto route, which I kind of like the idea of. Seto. That's not true. That's not true. I could treat your wounds. And even if I'm hurt, I can regenerate my wounds, so I could be there to support you.
冗談でもそういうことは言うたらいかんぞ。目の前で女に怪我させてしもうたら悔やんでも悔やみきれん。
But
今からでもええき宿に戻れ。治癒の期間の件と。しょうがないにゃ。ついてきや。けんど俺の後ろから絶対に離れたらいかんぜよ。
For some reason, I appreciate Sakamoto being the only one to realize, hey, I have superhuman jumping skills. I can use them. Oh no. Always make him endure it. I hate that this is the option that leads to the bad endings, but if... Ryoma! I cycled through the options in my head. Was giving him blood the appropriate response? Or was medicine a safer alternative? But he was as white as porcelain, his face draining of color with each passing second. He looked ill and there was nothing I could do. Just then... His limbs thrashed wildly, letting out chilling moans as he scratched his flesh. Ryoma! I refused to continue watching him suffer, and I hastily got down to approach him. With trembling arms, he nervously grabbed a hold of me, squeezing my torso tightly. His bravado paid him no favors this time. What are you talking about? Stop worrying about that! I frantically rested my head against him, doing my best to offer him comfort. Hi, Twix. Almost an hour had passed until his seizures seemed to subside, but it felt like years. Nope! I'm not gonna quit, damn it! I'll do whatever it takes. If he won't be willing to hear me out... Before I could finish my sentence, it felt like a lump was swollen in my heart, in my throat. I took a deep breath, trying to summon forth the courage necessary to speak my piece. I will have to do whatever it takes to stop my father. For a moment, Ryoma's eyes darted up and down my face, staring back at me silently before responding. Eh?
冗談でもそんなことは言うなってやつよ。俺はおまんにそんな真似をさせるつもりはないき。親父さんながやろ。どんなことをしてな。ラーテン言うちゃいなや。
Silence fell between us once again. A breeze whistled coolly through the pines. Where shall the game stop us? Oh, it stopped us right here as soon as I asked. The pace of his movements led me to believe that he could kill them all in seconds, but my optimism was quickly cut short.
血をよこせ。
That's a lot of Furies! The Furies soon encircled me, giving me no route to escape. Out of reflex, I drew out my Kodachi, spinning in a circle with its tip raised towards my fearsome foes. No signs of trepidation appeared in their eager eyes, all of which were fixed directly upon me. I felt helpless as they sauntered closer, moving to attack me all at once. No! I flailed my Kodachi as they lunged forward, but I could only inflict minor cuts, swatting them like one would a fly, and they continued unfazed. Eventually, one grabbed a hold of my sleeve. Ha! As I frantically tried to pull myself free, I lost my footing and slipped down the ridge. I instinctively brought my knees to my chest, rolling in the shape of a ball to avoid serious injury. The enormous height of the ridge caused my body to slam against the stony ground at breakneck speed. Ryoma. I was in agony and helplessly separated from Ryoma. My only instinct was to find my way back to him, no matter how much pain I was in. As I clutched what felt like broken ribs, leaves rustled underneath gentle footsteps somewhere in my vicinity. I don't like the sound of that. Who could it be? Could it be Ryoma? Or... Achoo! It was a sneeze all along! I held my breath only to find a pair of red eyes, its glare burrowing into me. And then I immediately flinched, noticing the blinding flash of someone's blade swinging toward me. Well, that was a game over. Again, low romance and high corruption is your recipe. Ryoma and Hijikata have such a weird chemistry. Like, Ryoma is just slick as fuck, but also, I don't know. Do you have a place to stay, sir? Do you have a place to go?
江戸には知り合いも多いけんど、俺はもう死んだことになっちゅうき、行くと驚かせるかもしれんにゃ。そう遠くないうちに、また死ぬみやちことを考えると、顔は見せん方がええろ。
Then, would you care to stay in my home? No one's there, so you wouldn't have to worry about anything.
それはかまんけんど、ええろうか。
Of course. The two of us have a job to do, and it's stopping my father and Nakaoka.
そういうことやのうて。まあ、ええか。
Why are you upset, Ryoma? Is it because of the way that she said it? Huh?
おい、坂本のやつが彼女に振り回されてやがるぞ。
No, not you two. God fucking damn it, not you two.
見てえだな。素直すぎる女が相手じゃ得意の駆け引きも通用しねえってとこが。
そこ、やかましせよ。
Please no comment from the peanut gallery. Well, in any case, I'm going to notify Hijikata-san about our arrangement, okay?
お、よろしゅうにゃ。
そんじゃあな、千鶴ちゃん。もしかしたらもう会うこともね。
Uh-oh. Make him endure it. Ryoma, are you alright?
ええきやき。おっさが起きるが、これが初めてやないき。
Would he really be alright? His symptoms, as bad as they were, only seemed to be worsening, evidenced by how quickly Ryoma's pale skin was damp with sweat. Ryoma grunted through gnashed teeth to restrain himself from crying out. Ryoma! When would his suffering end? How much more anguish would he be made to bear? The cumbersome thought weighed heavily in my anxious mind, and I regretted not forcing him to consume the medicine. Without any further recourse, I wrapped my arms tightly around him, wishing I could absorb his pain. I noticed Ryoma's veins bulge inside of his forehead, holding him close as his symptoms calmed down. Alright.
Chizuru, こっちだよ!
Ryoma grabbed my arm. Oh! And the two of us rushed off into a nearby trail.
いいか、羅刹だ。奴らを絶対に取り逃がすな。
As we scurried away, Nakaoka's voice echoed from behind us, followed by the stampede of furies. Each bullet fired by Ryoma's pistol startled me, but their pained grunts gave me some relief. However, it was only a minor deterrent to their regenerative powers, and they continued charging. Just then, one of the Furies sprinted behind us, got up to me, and grabbed a fistful of hair to yank me backwards. Ah! Ah!
Chizuru!
Ryoma stopped. I felt a searing pain as a sharp-pointed blade stabbed my back, cutting through my flesh like paper. I could barely speak. I helplessly reached my hand out towards Ryoma, whose fingers couldn't reach me in time.
Osha! Yokumo!
Ryoma barked in frustration as he rattled off a flurry of bullets, but by then, my sight was almost entirely blurred, and I couldn't make out what was happening. Soon, my vision had left me. His face was fading. I'm sorry, Ryoma. Ow, hair being pulled and then sword to the chest. Romance slow and corruption high. Also, for those saying that Chizuru doesn't do shit, she literally blocked an attack for Ryoma! She took a damn hit! If you've seen Chizuru in the anime, then yes, okay, I can agree, yes, she's a damsel in that. However, in the game, oh my lord, even for the time period, even if she is meek, even if she is the way that she is, she does have a spine. She does have the occasional thing when she do something. And case in point, taking a hit for Ryoma is one of them. Anyway, stop the production of Furies. Stop the production of Furies, right?
そうやね。これ以上あんな化け物を増やすわけにはいかんきね。それに中岡のやつもなんとかしてやりたいきねや。
Ah. Oh no, that make him endure it. Blind is here again. Ryoma, are you alright? His body jerked wildly, despite his best efforts to keep his arms from flailing from the agonizing pain. I grasped onto him. Ryoma didn't want me to witness his suffering. I understood that he could have felt embarrassed, but... No, I won't stay back. I'm watching after you until this passes. Please, let me stay with you. Desperate screams caused the veins in his pale face to bulge, and his symptoms showed no signs of stopping. By the time Ryoma's condition had stabilized, dawn was rising in the east, illuminating our shadowy room. I said, we're in this together. I'm the same as Ryoma. Initially, my only reason for interacting with him was because of the Shinsengumi had ordered me to investigate his affiliations. It would be hypocritical of me to act like I'm the only victim in this.
Chizuru, お前はこの俺の忠告よりもこんな男の言葉を信じるっていうのか?
Wait, what? Kaoru's voice suddenly changed, shifting from a girlish squeak to a seething masculine tenor. For a moment, I almost thought that I was speaking to a different person.
化けの皮が剥がれたかい。そろそろ下手くそな芝居はしまいにしたらどうぜよ。おい千鶴、乗せられなや。こいつが本当のことを言い打ち証拠はどこにもないき。
Ryoma called out to me, attempting to offer a voice of reason to keep me from giving into Kaoru's tale.
俺が本当のことを言ってるかどうか、お前には分かってるよな、千鶴。血を分けた兄がお前のせいで不幸な人生を歩んでるっていうのに、自分だけ幸せな人生を歩めるほど鈍感な女なのか、お前は。
こいつを惑わせるようなことを言うたらいかんぜよ。
Ryoma lashed out in frustration, firing his pistol towards Kaoru, but one swift maneuver was all it took for Kaoru to evade the bullet's path with ease.
そろそろラセスどもの食事も終わった頃合いだろうし、退散させてもらうよ。それじゃあな、可愛い妹。兄さんはいつでもお前を待ってるから。
待ちや!
Before Ryoma could fire another bullet, Kaoru vanished, melting into mist without a trace.
取り逃がしたか。千鶴、あんな奴の言葉を信じたらいかんぜ。お前に罪はない。あいつが勝手に言いよっただけやき。千鶴。
I know. I won't give in to any of his tricks.
そうか。そんならよかった。
Alright. Together, Ryoma and I departed Ueno and made it back to the Yukimura clinic in relative silence. But try as I might, Kaoru's words were stuck to me like overgrown roots ensnared beneath layers of dirt. Once Ryoma had gone to bed, and I could confirm that his sleep would go undisturbed, I snuck out. I chose to visit.
来てくれると思ってたよ。お前はやっぱり優しい子だね、千鶴。
Where's father?
先に陸奥にある雪村の里へ行ってもらってるんだ。お前の姿を見たらきっと喜んでくれるはずだよ。
The revival of our clan? Something about what Kaoru had said sent an eerie chill down my spine, causing my stomach to twist.
そう、お前さえいれば小一を宿した鬼をどんどん増やすことができる。
As if summoned by Kaoru's ominous statement. Dozen of red eyes pierced in the darkness. Were these fairies under his control, or...?
ほら、この中 中にもしかしたらお前の未来の夫がいるかもしれないよ。
It's worse coming from your mouth, Kaoru. What? I struggled to comprehend what Kaoru had been suggesting, so I stood rooted to the spot.
お前と羅刹との間に生まれる子供はひょっとしたら鬼さえ凌駕する力を持つかもしれない。楽しみだよね。
Shivers engulfed my body, and I slowly backed away to put distance between myself and Kaoru. There's no way I could join him. Going with him would mean subjecting my life as a concubine to some grotesque monster. In a fit of panic, I attempted to break into a jog and escape, but...
どこへ行くつもりだ。
Let go of me!
話すわけないじゃないか。お前と俺は双子の兄弟なんだから。幸せも不幸も二人で分かち合うのが当たり前だろう。
No! Help me! Ryoma! I cried out Ryoma's name in desperation, but Kaoru forcefully wrapped his fingers around my throat.
あんな奴の名を呼ぶな。
Any semblance of sanity in Kaoru's eyes had vanished. At this stage, my fate was sealed, and a solitary tear ran down my cheek as I gave up resisting.
それじゃあ行こうか。行動おじさんもきっと待ちわびてるよ。
I was so filled with regret. Farewell, Ryoma. My vow to join you aboard that ship will never go fulfilled. I wished through the pitch-black streets, with only the memory of my beloved as solace. Yeah, so that is a worse ending than being killed. Oh god. Oh god, what are the other endings like? Oh. Alright. Low romance and high corruption is your recipe. I told him I understand. Believe me, I hear them. Don't believe for a second that I don't understand where you're coming from. But using the water of life and the Furies to seek some demented revenge on mankind, I don't think that's right either. Most of mankind doesn't want to persecute us.
聞いてて、あくびが出るような綺麗事だな。そんなくだらない考えを植え付けたのは、そこにいる西洋かぶれか。まあいいさ。そいつを目の前で殺してやれば。 愚かな妹もさすがに目を覚ますだろうし。
Yeah, these guys really love using Heisuke for a lot of things. I need a Heisuke counter to how many times he's come to save our ass or assist us in these things that's not his own route. Making him do it. I hate it. Ryoma!
Kiyaki. こればの発作。
Even as his face was completely drained of color, Ryoma fought to suppress his pained moans. Ryoma began to dig his nails into his skin, breaking its surface by clawing at it insistently. Ryoma, hang in there! All of a sudden, Ryoma flung his arms around me. I felt hopeless as I caressed his back to soothe him. I awoke moments before the crack of dawn. Alright, so... Oh, what is this gonna mean? I know. Although for the most part we were safe. Despondency had rendered the two of us silent, and I struggled to find the strength to bring myself to my feet.
下で羅刹とと戦い二人はまだ追いついてこんのか。
I don't like the sound of that. Now that you mention it, after what we had just seen, I shuddered at the thought of finding our other two comrades dead. The Tosa Furies were another breed, swifter, more tenacious, and with improved resistances. There was no denying that Heisuke and Sun had their work cut out for them. I'm going to check in on them.
一人で大丈夫ながか。
Well, if it's dangerous, then I'll run right back. So just stay here, Ryoma. Ryoma took my hand, staring at me pensively before letting me up to return downstairs. As I made my way down to the main hall, I gulped upon stumbling upon a morbid, grotesque scene. Coating every wall, sliding door, and surface of the tatami mat was a viscous smattering of crimson blood. Corpses were stacked into helpless piles, one on top of the other, enough to fill an imperial assembly. I rubbed my eyes, hoping at first that this was some kind of illusion, but it was real. I could taste it.
おい、千鶴、どうしたんだよこんなところで。
Heisuke!
坂本はどうしたんだ。まさか。
Don't worry, Ryoma's fine. I was just worried about you two, so I decided to come and check up on you.
なんだ、びっくりさせるなよ。心臓が止まるかと思ったじゃねえか。
雪村君、ここに来る途中、光道さんの姿を見かけませんでしたか？
No, I didn't. I thought you might have defeated him?
俺たちが羅刹と戦ってる最中に姿を消しちまったんだ。
Wait, really? Where could he have gone?
この城をくまなく探すしかなさそうですね。光道さんを取り逃がしてしまえば、また新たな犠牲者が出ることとなる。
千鶴、お前は坂本のところへ戻ってろ。いいな。
Got it. I hurried back up the stairs, running to where I had left Ryoma behind, but... It's always the but. What? Ryoma had collapsed to the floor, barely breathing, and I frantically dropped to my knees to inspect him. Ryoma! What's wrong? Ryoma! I tried to wake him, but...
千鶴。はよ、ここから逃げや。
Get out? What do you mean? When I had turned Ryoma's weakened body over on its back, I discovered multiple stab wounds, all of which were bleeding profusely. Scattered beside him were medical scalpels. A terrifying chill ran down my arm, and I felt an ominous presence standing right behind me. As I rushed to look over my shoulder, I saw... There he stood, father, wearing a menacing smirk as he stared down at me. Well, that's one way to end things. Oh. Low romance and low corruption is your recipe. Since we've already seen all of the answers, I understand. Wait. And, we give him blood. The boys are here.
その必要はない。
Alright, there it is. I was like, where is it going? Why would you say that? I felt foolish as soon as I posed the question. Ryoma's body was starting to wither like ash, floating into the wind like cinders from the fire. His body sparkled with twinkling reflections of sunlight. It was... Ryoma! No! I was devastated, helpless as it happened in front of me. In the same way Nakaoka had disintegrated to ash, was Ryoma's life expiring as well?
悪い。一緒に俺のそこに行くち約束した。
What? No! Please, Ryoma, no! I grabbed onto him hysterically. Ryoma, though, looked at peace, ready to embrace whatever came next with poise.
顔、よう見せてくれるかい。俺が最後に。
I'm sorry, Ryoma, I can't hear you because your mixing sucks. His hands lovingly cupped over my cheeks. Rays of sunlight beat down upon us, turning Ryoma's skin into the shade of porcelain. Eventually,
先にあの条件。地図。
one last time, Ryoma flashed his signature grin, giving me one last taste of his magic. Then all of his body's ashes floated into the wind, melted like a cloud by the midday sun. Afterwards, the Aizu had officially announced their surrender to the Imperial Army. Word of the surrender traveled through Sendai, all the way to the last bastion of resistance forces holding out in the land known as Ezo. In the end, unfortunately, even this bastion had fallen, unable to hold the tide of Imperial soldiers. By June of 1869, what remained of the shogunate had tendered their surrender as well. Even following the war's conclusion, I had chosen to reside in Shirakawa, deep inside of Yukimura village. I believe Kaoru deserved the war's outcome. The village was completely silent. Somehow it was untouched by the Great War, a place of refuge for those who remembered it. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this right here, this view right here. I'm looking at it, and it said Shirakawa. All I can think of is Shirakawa Go, aka the village that the village Hinamizu was based on. That's all I can think of. I'm looking at here. All I can think is Shirakawa Go. It's just, I was on my knees, praying in front of Kaoru's grave. Then I prepared myself to leave when...
よう、まさかここにいるとは思わなかったぜ。
Shiranui.
兄貴の墓参りか？
I figured my brother would want to know the outcome of the war.
そっか。お前、これからどうするんだ？行くあてはあるのか？
I'm thinking of going to Tosa. I must tell Ryoma's family about everything that happened during the war.
あいつが大宮で死んだ後、羅刹になって蘇ったっていうつもりか？信じるとは思えないかな。
Even so, I must tell them. I contemplated Ryoma's precious philosophies, and I sought to tell them of his life after Omiya. Although it was unlikely that history would ever honor him in the way he deserved to be remembered. At the very least, his family deserved to be keepers of his memory, to protect the image of this great man.
そっか。用事が済んだら俺様の里に来てもいいぜ。
Oh! That's very nice of you, Shiranui.
なんだかんだ言って同じ鬼同士だしな。
Thank you. I bowed politely and took my leave without a word. Time for me to see where Ryoma was born. I had never visited Tosa before, so I was curious in knowing where he gained all of his quirks. My only prior knowledge was of his location beside the sea, so I anticipated the taste of its salty breeze. Whenever Ryoma spoke of Tosa, I saw some hint of sorrow in his eyes. If only I could have asked him how much the city had meant to him. As I dragged my tired feet towards the Tosa domain, I fought back tears, thinking of the man I loved.